So yesterday I was asking the question, is the altcoin season here? I think looking at this, I can safely say that it is. This is the market cap Bitcoin dominance chart on the 4-hour. And yesterday we were up around here somewhere, and it is clearly just broken down. It has almost lost all its gains here. It's coming down here, but it is fast approaching this support line that I drew there the other day. And we can also see the difference between what Bitcoin here is doing and what the rest of the altcoins are doing. And we just real quickly look at that. You see Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart has stabilized and has yet to decide what direction it wants to go. Ethereum very clearly is on the move up. XRP is made some incredible moves here. Yesterday it stalled here for a bit, but then it just took off once again. Link is it's on the move. It's broken above this point here and it's on the move, and basically so on and so forth down the line. They're all beginning to make their moves. But now let's get back to the Bitcoin dominance chart, and let's go through this and see what we can glean from this. So if we go back to the 1 day, I drew this or shaded out these two. This is a support line here, very strong support line here, and also a resistance line here, and said that when it would hit this, or did hit this resistance line here, and I was saying that if it drops back away from it, then possibly the altcoin season has started, because it broke through this one, came back, and then it finally broke down here. At that time, this huge red candle was not there, so it was up in the air yet. But if we go back here, I drew that the resistance line here is because this strong point back here in late 2019, October, November, got me draw. So I drew that line, and then this line as a result of this obvious bounce off, and this blue line because of obvious support right here too. And the price it broke above that, so it became support. It's obviously down below that, so I'm going to change that to red now, which tells me that it is a resistance line now. And so there's this line here. Now if it stays in this shaded area, if it bounces off of here again, like it did here on this candle, I think it just shot right down here, bounced right back, and went for the top there. So if it does that again, or bounces off here, then it'll be in a channel, and it'll basically bounce back and forth here like this. What does that mean for Bitcoin and the other altcoin? It could also break through here with such strength on the altcoin season here, or the altcoins showing such strength, it might even break through here and end up working its way back down to this support line. But time will tell. Right now, what it's telling me is that it's in this channel, and what that means is that for Bitcoin is still trying to decide either way, whether to make a break for the 20,000 mark or to break down and toward this trend line, and then bounce off of that to the 20, or break down past that to this support line here. You have a steep support line here, and then a less steep support line here. So right now, because Bitcoin has halted a little bit, we'll go back to the 4-hour chart here. Right now, because Bitcoin has halted a little bit, it's given these, because it was so strong, there is, remember I was talking about the other day, or the other video, the difference between gold and silver. Gold rises, silver tends to lag behind, and then finally it follows. And if gold continues on its rise, silver just rises, you know, X times faster than gold, and surpasses even the percentage of rise in gold. And that's what I'm liking. Bitcoin is the gold. The rest of these, or you might even just say Ethereum, but the rest of them tend to follow Ethereum. So Bitcoin, the gold standard, has been rising steadily and very strong, and now it's taken a breather, and the rest of the altcoins have begun their move with vengeance, and are indeed catching up. If we take a look at Ethereum, we can see what it's doing, and XRP even more so. Okay, so now where are they going to go, and what's going to happen with Bitcoin? Well, now we'll go back to the day charts. And I guess the first one we'll look at is Ethereum, because that's what everyone's familiar with. And in fact, we'll go to the weekly charts. Weekly. And we'll just spread this out a little bit here. So I haven't drawn any lines here because I just decided to do this video before I actually drew any lines. But obviously this is a major support line right here, so we could draw one here off of this point here. And so it would be right about there. And what is that at? It's at about 833. Is there anything else that we see? Well, it passed this drop here. That would have been another area of resistance over here, but it surpassed that, so I'm not worried about that. It's got some great strength showing here, even on the weekly chart. So you've got a point here and another point here. That might be, and a few here too. So that might be another point as well. So we could draw one there. So basically right around there, I would say. And so we are approaching that one. That is 640 or thereabouts. Now if we look on the go back to the day chart, see what that looks like, and scroll all the way back to where that line is. See if we've got it drawn properly. And this is kind of how I do things, guys. So we can see there's that top there, and that one's pretty good. It hits these. Actually, even got a few here, so that I didn't. Yeah, here we go. So there we go. So you got 1, 2. It already passed this one, so I'm not worried about it. 3. We've got a few here. 4, 5, 6 that it's sitting on. So a lot of points, and that's a good point of resistance. So, and it's right there. So the only one after that, if it breaks through that point, which is we're looking at 640 or thereabouts. If it breaks through that, there's really nothing to stop it from going, because this is weak through here, from doubling that to up to 835, or pardon me, 640 to about 835 or so. So, and if Bitcoin really doesn't do much, then at this point, with the move and the strength in Ethereum, my feeling is that it's going to at least hit the 640 mark before. I think it'll take a bit of a breather there, and then at that point, Bitcoin may, because people are taking a breather with Ethereum, so they're selling short, and that might move the price of Bitcoin up to the 20,000 point. Ethereum, and if that's the case, Ethereum may rest there, may bounce back a little bit down to that other. I didn't draw that line there, but we could draw this line out, and it'll give us an idea. In fact, let's do that. Let's draw this line out and see about there. What I'm looking at is this point here, thereabouts. And then we could draw this one out too. And that will give us a bit of a, it appears to be a bit of a widening channel, right? So it could come up, bounce off of this, play around here for a while before it, or it could continue up. But if it bounces off of this and decides it's gonna, it could bounce back to this trend line here. But Bitcoin, I think, will move. If we go back to the 4, we have higher lows, but we're creating, what's happening here is a wedge. If we go to the hour, we can draw a little wedge here. From here, draw this here, and we'll just draw that out there like that. That would be the support. And we could either draw one out from here, but let's just see where that goes. Yeah, you try to grab as many points as you can. So there's a large flag there. And usually a flag is an indication. So you got 1 point here, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. This one would dip down below, but you could draw a steeper one here if you want, but I don't think that's the way it's going to go. So there we have a, I'm going to make this one blue. So there we have a flag on the 1 hour, which is usually an indication that it's going to continue up. And so I'm thinking it'll do one more leg up to the 20,000 or close to it before it decides what it's going to do. Go through or come back. But in the meantime, because of this pause now, the rest of the altcoins are now taking off. And it's my belief that it is now the altcoin season. No matter what Bitcoin does now, unless Bitcoin drops off like a rock, these are going to hold pretty much. They'll go through their channels, and as you know, you have a channel here, so we might see that again when it reaches this line, and the rest will follow suit. XRP, same thing. It's going to hit some point. Well, let's take a look at XRP here. 4 hour. Let's go back to, yeah, we were going to draw that one out too, weren't we? So really, the next one would be this one here. So great, this guy here, and that's sitting at 77 too. And it just broke past this one. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, so it's got a good move. Got some good move to go before it gets to that. Let's see, day. Yeah, so this is where this line came from. And unless it doesn't hold this line here, we're on the day chart, so unless it doesn't hold above this line, it needs to hold above this resistance. If it falls back, and then it might stagnate here, but if it holds the next day or two, then that now becomes support. And so what I'll do is I'll just make that so we can see when we expand out. It's blue support. So there we have it. And so Bitcoin, I think, will make it to 20,000. But in the meantime, these altcoins are just taking off like rockets, just like the silver and gold analogy. So if you were in Bitcoin, you're still good. It has not completely stalled out yet. You haven't lost anything. If you were in altcoins, that's even better. If you're not in altcoins yet, then give it some time. I'm not sure I'd get into them right now. Wait for the next pullback, which may occur when Bitcoin hits the 20,000, kind of slags around here. If it does that, or actually, if it takes off here, if it takes off, breaks through this triangle here, or this flag, then the altcoins will definitely have a stall. They won't necessarily lose anything, but they may fall back or correct a little bit, and that might be a time to a good time to buy into some of these altcoins. My choices, just to let you know, Ethereum, of course, would be a good one, but I really like XRP. I've been in it since the high teens, 20-cent area. Link is another one that is good. Cardano is another one that is good, and it's showing real strength now. And one of my other picks is a newer one. Well, the Theta is good, but one of my other, I used to be in IOTA. I'm not in IOTA anymore. However, you know, maybe it's showing some promising signs here. I wouldn't get back into it myself, because XRP is giving me, and I think XRP is a much stronger project. But IOTA, if they come back online with some really good projects, they have a good promise too. But what was I saying? HRB or HBAR is a new kid on the block, and they have a really good project. But I'm not into HBAR right now. I'm wearing an HBAR shirt, but I'm not invested in it right now, because it just is not at that point for me. I would like to see it. Yeah, if it breaks above these, there's some support and resistance through here. So I definitely want to see it break that, but it's so close to the 200 moving average that I want to see it break above the 200 moving average before I make some decisions on whether to get into it or not again. I did get into it down here somewhere, but it just was way back here actually somewhere. It just was lagging. So I traded out of it and into other strengths, XRP being one of them. I'm heavily into XRP. So there you go. Alt season has begun, and it's just a matter of being patient to see what Bitcoin is going to do, whether it breaks to the upside and hit it. Once it gets around 20,000, I would either cash out some of my Bitcoin and move it into some of these altcoins, or wait for a bit to see what Bitcoin actually does. But my opinion, right now, I'm mostly into XRP at this point. Anyway, that's my opinion, guys. And you saw a bit of me drawing some lines and get an idea how to read these things. So that's it for me. And as usual, I talk too much, but hopefully you got a little bit out of that. If you did, hit the like button down below and subscribe. I'm going to try and do more of these videos. I'm also going to do videos on how I use these different lines, support lines, trend lines. What is a W pattern? What is an M pattern? Or others call it head and shoulder patterns, reverse head and shoulder, and a few other things. And I'll get those up here, maybe hopefully over the next week or so. And yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, and really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, and have a great day, guys, and stay safe.